The perils of doing it live. Take two. Welcome to This Week in Media-ocrity, where we give you the best and the worst of the media. I'm your host, Joel Foster, and I'm so woke that I kneel before the national anthem. Well, of course, this week was dominated by men arguing about kneeling, and shockingly for America, it had nothing to do with religion. It was the NFL kneeling thing, and no, I'm not going to focus on that today. We've heard enough. I'll touch on it later, but I just got sick of the news this week, to be honest. I don't know if it was the devastation in Puerto Rico, the kneeling situation, or Woody the Cowboy winning the Senate in Alabama, but it just broke me this week. So instead, I'm going to tell a story about two men cut from the same cloth, and the power of hubris, terrible journalism, and lots of milk. It starts with a man known as Baked Alaska. You may have heard of him, first in the frozen food aisle, then as a powerhouse of the alt-right. Baked Alaska is popular in the world of the alt-right. He has 18,000 followers on YouTube, 190,000 followers on Twitter, and 0 in real life. But Baked Alaska had quite a journey. He started as a mild-mannered kid named Anthony Guillaume, or Tim Guillaume, or Timothy Treadstone, or Your Disappointed Son. He first worked at BuzzFeed, where he served as a social media strategist, which is a bit surprising, as you'll see. I mentioned BuzzFeed because we're about to see a Walter White-style 180, and like most trashy stories, it begins with BuzzFeed. According to an interview one day, Anthony, or Tim, or Timothy got into a conversation with a guy at work about Justin Bieber, because what else do you talk about in the BuzzFeed offices? He told the coworker that Bieber was his, quote, spirit animal, and the coworker chided him for using the phrase. He supposedly said it was offensive to Native Americans. Now, the guy was probably kidding, but that didn't stop dear Timothy from becoming the kind of guy that tweets the ICE hotline on Twitter at 12:30 in the afternoon. I say never work on your lunch break, but what do I know? Anyway, Baked Alaska started slow after BuzzFeed. He changed his name to Baked Alaska, took on a stoner persona, and started making rap songs with a conservative message. Yeah, and somehow it's worse than what it sounds like. Here's a sneak peek.
We love our cops, our law enforcement. We love our military, they're important. We love our cops, our law enforcement. We love our military, they're important. And when I'm in the jam, I know that I can call up the man, with a plan. When I'm on the run, all I gotta do is dial 911. We love our cops, our law enforcement. We love our military, they're important.
Yeah, there's nothing better to establish your credibility than rapping in front of a parking enforcement vehicle. Yeah. Fun fact, that was his second attempt at filming after a mall cop kicked him out of the Burbank Town Center Mall. Sure, there's nothing wrong with supporting cops. There isn't. But in his later videos, Baked Alaska started getting a little more salty. Let's take a look. Come on, baby.
Yeah, build a wall, it just got 10 feet higher. Build a wall, it just got 10 feet strong. Build a wall, it just got 10 feet higher. And build and build and build and just build a wall. Build and build and build and just build a wall. I just wanna make America great. I just wanna have a drumstick on my plate, making history again, 'cause my daddy keeps winning.
Yeah. I would call that whack, but that would be an insult to the concept of whackness. Soulja Boy and Kevin Federline would feel disrespected, so I'll just call it the reason I wish YouTube never existed. That last video, the MAGA anthem, got over 126,000 views. It shot Baked Alaska to stardom, and he realized that people loved him when he was racist. It was like the opposite of The Blind Side. Then, the Periscope era began, and Baked Alaska began to film himself bothering people on the street to prove something about the First Amendment, but he always ends up failing. He's like the alt-right version of Marv from Home Alone. Everything he tries ends up backfiring on him. Like this one, for example.
No one gives me the bird and gets away with it. I gotta defend myself.
I didn't ask to be part of this. I haven't said anything.
Yeah. Hey, what's up? Oh, we're on a public street, so you don't need to ask.
I do. I
No,
appreciate me.
No, that's...
It goes on for longer, but whatever. That date didn't go too well. You didn't see it on there, but she smashes his phone. What he doesn't realize is that the girl did him the biggest favor by breaking his phone. Now he can't torture himself on social media anymore. Because this wasn't the first time that a conversation with a female backfired for him. It likely wasn't the second, third, fourth, or fifth time it's happened either. Watch things go really wrong and really creepy when Baked tries to film another random girl on the street.
They said grab her by the pussy. Well, she's a cat, so... No, I'm saying touch. No. That's equivalent, you know. Are you single? Yes. Can I get your number? No. Not together. Damn, why not? Yeah, she's 13. How old are you? 13. No, that's a lie. Really? Yes. Come here. Let's go. Really? Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. 6/18/04. Damn. Okay.
The next half hour of that video is Baked Alaska trying to impress her with his fidget spinner skills. It's harrowing. And finally, we have this jewel, which might be the proof that God exists. Let's take a look.
We will go away if we don't do something now. What up? I'm lit.
Hey!
I'm fired up.
Young Damien on the ground.
Dude,
Hey, what's up?
we gotta preserve the white race, bro.
No,
No?
No.
You don't like white people?
No, I hate white people.
Why?
White people are the worst.
You are a terrible person, man.
I'm an albino.
Wow. See, this is
I hope that kid was going to have sex with Baked Alaska's mom. That's the only thing that could make that clip any better. Nothing goes right when he does wrong. You think he'd learn, but nope. Here he is last week getting kicked out of an Uber for saying racial slurs.
Talk what?
Uncomfortable.
What? You're calling us racist? This lady just kicked us out of the car in Washington,
because
D.C.
you're racist.
Because we're racist? Why are we racist? What are we talking? I'm sitting in the back. What are you talking about?
You know what you said.
What are you talking about? How are we racist? How are we racist, ma'am?
After that incident, he complained to Uber over Twitter, asking, would you like to explain why I was kicked from an Uber for being white, bags thrown, and your driver was speeding with no seatbelts? Uber responded to his tweet addressing someone named Debbie, who many assume is his mom. So then there was the time that he canceled his Netflix account in protest of the show Dear White People. He posted the cancellation notice, failing to notice that his email account was there for everyone to see. Okay, so on with the story. Baked struck up a friendship with Media-ocrity regular Mike Cernovich, seen here right after getting caught fondling Scott Pelley on camera. It's natural that they would get along because Cernovich also films himself doing everything and puts out videos like this.
Well, no. Cernopac.com. CERNOPAC.com. I know about hair, wine, and little weenies. I can sell books, and I can do, I can do a lot of things really good. Babies, too. When it comes to weenies or wieners, what 13-year-old boy right now...
Right, where was he going with that? You can see part 2 if you just search the dark web. And it also makes sense that they would be friends because Cernovich has a bit of that bumbling villain thing going on. Let's take a look at this clip.
But you know me, I'm always serious. I'm always on.
Oh, yeah.
The broader...
Uh-oh.
Let's put a little water.
We're good.
The broader point is that Brian Stelter is trying to incite death against you by comparing you to a child molester.
Whoa, dark. There we go. Alex was so close to calling him Illuminati, you could just see it on his face. Like a disappointed dad. And both Cernovich and Baked have an interesting voice on Twitter. Here's Cernovich talking about his gym regimen, which involves menstruation and what he calls a, quote, aromatic bouquet. And he tells jokes like this hilarious zinger where he says that Trayvon Martin was killed before he was able to rape. Ha ha ha. But Baked went a little over the edge one day and posted this no-no, writing that Jews control the news. A statement that all of them agree with, but would never say on Twitter. Period Jews to the gym? Fine, but don't reveal their obvious racism. It doesn't go over too well. Here's Bake Alaska explaining what happened with him and Cernovich.
Oy vey. What's up, guys? Baked Alaska here. I've been officially banned from Deplorable. Oh man, I just can't stop laughing. This is hilarious. Oy vey! Baked Alaska, banned from Deplorable. First, hashtag free Baked Alaska. You know, first they banned Richard Spencer. You know, then they banned Sam Hyde. And now they have banned Baked Alaska, you know, from his own organization, MAGA 3X. Apparently I can't go to Deplorable. Sorry. No, this is not a publicity stunt. So I've not been given any reason to why I cannot go. But Mike Cernovich has tweeted out that I'm not allowed to go to Deplorable. So apparently he's not a fan of free speech, and you know, so if you guys, yeah, and I'm sorry to all my fans, I wanted to go to Deplorable. I wanted to be there and perform for you guys. Yeah, Cernovich is a huge cuck. Mike Cernovich is a massive cuck, okay?
Disaster. Such a cuck. For those who haven't heard the term, the word cuck is short for cuckservative. It's like a conservative who isn't really a conservative. They use the term to describe John McCain, Rand Paul, Stephen Curry, LeBron James, basically anyone who's against Trump now. But as he said, as a result of the Jews are on the media tweet, Cernovich kicked Bake Alaska off the Deplorable, a gala he organized the night before Trump's inauguration. It featured speakers like Roger Stone, Milo Yiannopoulos, and Malik Obama. Who's Malik Obama? Yes, it's not a coincidence. He's the President Obama's half-brother, who turns out to be a huge Trump supporter and who tweets things like Mountain Dew is for cucks. Have you ever seen a good person drink Mountain Dew? Maybe he was just paraphrasing Gandhi. Following the lover's quarrel with Mike Cernovich, Baked Alaska went off and found some new friends. And these friends would accept him for his alternative lifestyle. Who could it be?
Hey everyone, look, we want to unite the right. We want to work with everyone.
Yeah!
We gave the alt-right that opportunity, and they failed. And they turned themselves into a bunch of cringy, embarrassing losers. And I am actually really happy about that. In fact, if the alt-right didn't exist, we might want to invent them. Because we need a magnet that will actually attract all of the freaks and the losers and the pathological liars so that we can actually segregate them off from the real right.
West End girls. Yep, that's white supremacist Richard Spencer again, this time hosting a barbecue that was definitely all white meat. The new Baked Alaska changed up his look again, going for more like a Guy Fieri and the guy from Smash Mouth Love Child kind of thing. The Spencer connection must have worked because Bake Alaska was now getting endorsed by the Svengali of supremacy himself, former KKK leader David Duke. You know you've made it when you have the former KKK leader starting a GoFundMe for you, right? Naturally, this took him to the free speech rally, the Woodstock of the white supremacist crew. There, Baked Alaska filmed video of himself apparently macing himself because I guess he figured he would cut out the middleman. Let's take a look.
Thank you guys.
I got peppers. I need milk. I need milk. I need milk. I need milk. Keep streaming.
I got it.
Gotta go. Keep streaming.
I got it, mate.
Keep streaming for America. It was my Vietnam, man. Since his stand at the Battle of the Tiki Torch, Baked Alaska moved on to bigger and, well, not better things. Of course, I'm talking about Milo, proving here that even Harry Potter can be made to look punchable. The two were supposed to appear last weekend at UC Berkeley for Free Speech Week in the No Cuck Zone for the last stand for the right to annoy people. But of course, because it involves Baked Alaska, the event fell apart. I'm surprised the event didn't end with Bake Alaska accidentally lighting a flag on fire and putting it out in a veteran's crotch. So you see, hubris only takes you so far. Baked Alaska, Cernovich, all these guys just want to be celebrities. If saying outrageous, hateful things will give them attention, then they'll keep doing it. But the main point I wanted to bring up is there's no need to fight these guys. Just like the Trump administration, if you leave them alone, they end up destroying themselves. So let them march around with tiki torches and have rallies. Just don't show up. You know Baked Alaska will get attacked by a pigeon and the whole thing will get ruined. Just make sure someone's there to film it. And finally, a message to Baked Alaska. Stop being a big, fat, veiny cuck, all right? Okay, that's all the time I have for today. I will see you next week for another installment of This Week in Media-ocrity. Have a great weekend. Stay creative, Tucson. See ya.